Hi. Well, here I am at 7:30. I'm on a roll now. I'm settled in. I was able to book this in advance, and I'm hoping to continue, not hoping, I'm planning to continue doing this. And I so appreciate this opportunity to be here sharing with you, because in August, I returned to USD, the university I've been teaching at for a grillion years, 20 years, and they're going to have me teaching this course that I developed, Soul Satisfaction. But however, I'm going to be teaching it remotely, like I am here. So I've got my little ecosystem set up here at the house. I've already had a couple of mishaps. Things fell off the shelves, and trying to figure out how to work all this technology. Hello, Dave. So good to see you. Thank you for showing up. And so USD is just one of the strangest, many strange oddball places that I have taught over the years. I was the first teacher, yoga meditation teacher at the Marine Corps. At the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, they had everybody from the military, the Navy, the Army, the Marines, civilians, retired folks. I taught at Scripps hospitals, teaching yoga there to everybody, from the janitors up to the doctors. Oh gosh, just so many places. So USD is one of my favorite places because you got these young whippersnappers, these young adults. They are so thrilled. They have so much energy to fulfill their dreams. They're excited. And so that youthful exuberance, it definitely rubs off. It's such a privilege and a pleasure for me to work with these young adults and help wrangle their energy in, with these skills. My supervisors there are very progressive. They realize that, while you can get this education and have this degree, then what do you do with it? You need the soul satisfaction offers skills for getting through anything in life. Apply it to anything. And also those of you who are, on a spiritual path or maybe metaphysical, about universal law, universal principles like meditation and visualization and affirmations and mindset and that sort of thing. A lot of people get that information, they get excited, like, all right, I'm going to manifest. I'm just going to think about what I want. That's not enough. We've got to get in there and implement some actions. So tonight, I'm going to give you just a couple of little things you can do. You can start doing now. And it's fun. It's an adventure. So I titled this, I can't see it on the screen right now. Increasing your capacity for success. Okay, so how much can you stand, really? We get used to being comfortable in our places, even comfortable with our pain, comfortable with our repetitious patterns. The known, the unknown is scary for a lot of people. Excuse me, I gotta get a little more cozy here. And so yeah, the unknown, that's really where the fun is. But of course you want to have a foundation, basic needs for sure, as much as possible: food, clothing, shelter. But once you've got that in place, and that can be generally pretty simple. Our needs, are different from what our wants. But then once you get that foundation, you can start moving on to bigger desires, various levels of success. Now, success, you define that for you. Health is primary to me, and then for as long as I'm healthy, that is top notch for success. And then calmness, those really go hand in hand. Learning these ways of breathing and calming down is primary to not only health, but also a clear mind. Calmness. So you can listen, if our mind is all over the place, we're not going to hear that guidance. Okay, so, and this is, I've had this happen to me a number of times, and I do rituals for this. Okay, so you've increased your capacity for success. Okay, say maybe you have come to this place where you have manifested all these really cool things that you've been putting effort into, focusing on, visualizing, learning, educating yourself about this thing, and then you get it, it comes to you. It can feel awkward, like, whoa, this is a whole new world. And sometimes people will actually sabotage that good. And I know I have, maybe a step back, two steps forward. It's a lifelong thing. And it happened recently. All of a sudden, this culmination happened where I put effort into some goals, and then, whoa, lo and behold, I fulfilled that. So there's this saying the masters taught me. You just say, well, that was a step. I'm done with that now. Sometimes we're still hung up in that role, And so what I do, here's one of these simple things you can do, but you've got to do it, is you get really calm, and you might even just kind of experiment with this right now. Perhaps there is a new place that you've come to, and who hasn't come to a new place with all these wild things on the planet right now? Our lives are forever changed. Okay, so this is a ritual I do, and you might just close your eyes. It's a visualization. So just imagine yourself. Maybe you have come to a new place, a new way of life, a new lifestyle. And so that former you, maybe even the roles you had have changed. They're obsolete. So it's far more efficient, for lack of a better word, to accept that. Maybe you don't approve of it, but you have to, accept. So as you take a breath in and you visualize that person that you were and that lifestyle that you had that is now altered because of world changes or perhaps your personal changes. See how that person, how you carried yourself in the world. And then consciously exhale, just as though you're breathing out, freeing that old way of being. Maybe even with a sense of blessing as you release that person, to clear the way to be who you are now, who you're becoming now. Okay? And sometimes it can get really deep. Depends on the role, the depth of the role that you're letting go of the old identity. Maybe if you're a father, for instance, parenting for 20 or 30 years, and now the kid's out of the house and married, has their own life. And so your role has changed. So now, the other part of this visualization is to get ready to open to and embrace the new you, which ideally is more evolved and expanded. So now that we spent a couple of breaths to release the former way of being, let's explore the new way of being that is wanting to open up. And we call it reinventing ourselves. And that's fun. It's just a kind of a way of playing, like kids do, they pretend. So again, let's close our eyes for a moment. And always it's that conscious breath. That's the link, the connecting link between your mind and your body and even your soul. If you breathe long enough and slow enough with your presence in it. All right, so let's sigh, exhale. And so let's say we've cleared that space, letting go, releasing that old way of being. Even bowing your head towards your heart, symbolically to listen from here inquiring. See if you have a sense of who you're becoming now. What way is life calling for you to expand and grow? And breathing in, embracing that new you. And how will this new you carry yourself in the world? Speak, or maybe even dress differently. Okay, so that's just a quick thing that can take years. And every time I complete a goal, for instance, this kind of a little insider scoop on the world of comedy. Ideally, a professional gets 6 laughs per minute. And I've been doing it for some time, and then finally I came to 7 laughs per minute. And so I felt like, okay, I accomplished that. And that was a goal. And comedy for me is it's just a step. So I've got other goals beyond goals, always. And so sharing with you, educating with these universal principles of soul satisfaction in an entertaining way, that's really cool. It's fun. I enjoy it. Okay, so once we've opened up to a new level of success, your definition of that, then it's adapting to it. Oh, and I recall even tenderness, any quality that is new. I remember doing some this movement workshop, and suddenly I just felt like I kind of broke through some armor. I had protective armor that I had developed. I had a really mean grandma. Oh my gosh, she was like a witch till the end. I mean, even her getting old didn't slow her down from being a witch. But fortunately, she wasn't my primary, authority figure. But boy, did I digress. Where was I going with that? Well, I've totally spaced out on that. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about my mean granny like that. Tenderness, that's it. She was not a tender person. My parents were very tender, affectionate, warm parents. I'm so grateful for that. But I had developed this armor of protection to prepare myself, brace myself as a kid, and even into adulthood. We all kind of carried this thing. So when I was taking this movement class, all of a sudden it's like this armor melted away. And I felt so good. And I felt so tender. I was like, wow. Oh, I'm not used to this. And then I started to explore. And see, this is when you can increase your capacity for success, health, joy, peace, tenderness, any quality that you want, increasing your capacity for it by asking. Questions are the keys to the door of your subconscious. So when I was exploring this new level of tenderness, it felt kind of raw and uncomfortable. And then I realized I didn't need that armor. And so I questioned, I thought, wow, how much tenderness can I feel? How much tenderness can I stand? And I let myself feel more. And now I'm used to it. So same thing goes with any level of success. Ease is, we're so, if you're used to having tension, ease can feel uncomfortable. Okay, so here's another tip. I want to give you very useful tips that you can apply today, and it's fun. You may have heard this term. I don't know if I coined it. I probably plagiarized it from somebody, but making a statement to the universe. And you can do this by maybe looking around your house, or maybe even have something in your mind where you've got something in your house, maybe a piece of clothing or something that just feels raggedy and you don't feel good with it, or an object that a mean person gave to you from your past, and every time you look at it, you think about that terrible experience. So you can make a statement by blessing that stuff out, releasing it, maybe burning it. Whatever it does, so cut off those cords, those connections of that negative association. And then look for the things, the affirmative objects, the things that when you look at them, they make you feel good. And then when you maybe go shopping, or maybe you have something in mind, it doesn't have to be expensive, but you just get that ball rolling. Think that there's something that you need, something that would add, clothes or some object for your house. And I always, before I do anything, before I call customer service, the cable people, especially them, before I go in a store shopping, before I go to teach, before I did this, I take a breath and I set my intention, and I'll ask, okay, Spirit, let's guide me to the best deal on this. Show me what I need, and I'll be guided. I get guided to things. Oh yeah, I need that, and it's perfect and it's affordable. So you can start with something just small. Yeah, like I need some new cloth napkins, and so I'm going to look for some of those. And what you do when you keep these patterns going, it's like fractals. And fractals is this really cool mathematical system in the universe. And you can apply it. And I'll break it down very simple because I saw this program on it. And I thought, I want to know how to explain that. And I know how to explain it in layman's terms because I'd gone to a coffee shop and I was thinking about fractals. How can I share that with people? Lo and behold, there was a fractals teacher sitting next to me at this coffee shop. He had a book, a huge volume about fractals. And I said, excuse me, can you tell me about that? And he was a professor at the university down the road. And here's how he explained it. So listen to this. We see a fern, like a fern plant. It'll have like the new growth at the bottom. It'll have this pattern of leaves. And then the new growth that goes up, same pattern, but bigger. And then, just on and on and on. And so everything in this universe is built on this fractal system. And so I've thought about that. Even our thoughts are fractals. The quality of our breath, fractals. So you keep adding, so you treat yourself to beautiful things that make you feel good. That feeling of beauty blooms. That pattern of beauty expands. So let's see. So those are some simple things. If you came on a little later, I gave a tip on learning to release so that you can increase your capacity for these wonderful things, and then adapting to the wonderful things. And then you build on it now with affirmative objects and affirmative people too. I don't have no problem discarding people that are, not nice, because having that energy will block your good too. So the other thing I want to share with you is about looking at your story and the stories that you tell people, maybe that you repeat over and over, stories that you identify with, stories, especially with, you're relating to other people, like, you know what he did, you know what she did, and you go, oh yeah, what they did way back 20 years ago. Rather than looking at your story in a gossipy way, more like the principles of the situation. What was the vibration that was happening, that in the pattern between me and this person? Because what will happen is, like fractals, is if you try to run from those patterns, they'll come back. They'll come back through another person. Or, you try to run, but you can't hide. So it's really good to, And this is where I talked about that the challenges in life. And it's kind of fun, it is fun because when you learn these principles, you experience victories and you become stronger from them. So when these challenges and these challenging people, situations keep recurring, stop, take a breath. Okay. Face it and listen. And you'll always get guidance. It might not be, for the far future, but the part of the lesson to deal with today. Always today. Take a breath. Okay, this situation is out of balance. What is there for me to learn? And how can I become liberated from it? That's my main goal, which I so adore. In Sanskrit, it's called Kaivalya. Kaivalya means liberation. So we all are having challenges right now. So it's just a prime opportunity to have this fun adventure. Take it up and listen to your guidance and follow through on your guidance. Okay, so complacency is the opposite of stepping up to these challenges. And I think I've pretty much covered everything. So I hope that these tips I shared with you are comprehensive. If not, let me just kind of review them again quickly. Want to release the situations and the objects that are draining. And this will clear the way for life's countless gifts to come in. So anything that's kind of niggling or bugging you, look at that. See, do I really need this in my life? And then taking that time to embrace, breathe in, and welcome the new you. And just with gratitude. And I shake my head every day. I do. Really, God? Really? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so stopping to acknowledge the gifts that you have now, embracing the new you, and also looking at your stories. And if you don't like your story, you can start making one up and see yourself, visualize yourself in that story. Oh boy, do I have some stories about that, just how it's really, really worked out. The big one I have is I had that vision of doing a yoga video many, many years ago, and I thought, God must be crazy. I can't afford to do a yoga video. But I just felt it. I just knew that was in the cards for me. And then Paramount Studios, they came out and scouted me out and said, hey, we heard about you. We want you to create a yoga video. So all these fun things I've done in my life, and I saw my friend Nucci. He's a great musician. We were in rock and roll bands years ago, and so I get to do so many fun things, and you can too. Okay, so enjoy your life. And by the way, this Monday night I'm doing a Zoom session where we'll be able to interact. So I hope you'll be able to make it. If so, send me your email, and I will send you the Zoom link. I amped up my power here. I got a new modem. So God bless you. Increase your capacity for peace, for health, for fun. You can do it.